SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
When banking starts to feel less personal, you know where to find us. Community Bank. Deep roots, local people, personal banking. Visit communitybank.net. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C-Spire. Power your home or business with C-Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C-Spire. C-Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in live from the house that Brian Hadad built. Sports Talk Mississippi.
That's right, baby.
In Starkville. We are upstairs at the landing. What a cool spot this is, by the way. Luckily, we got fans blowing on us because it is a little
warm.
toasty.
It's warm.
That's why
it's not fall camp. It's
exactly.
Not fall. It's 100 degrees out here.
There's nothing fall about today, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and we are so glad that you are with us wherever you are in the great state of Mississippi or beyond. We stretch as far as Oregon in our listening audience, and we used to.
We got a wasp. I'll just go ahead. Will, let's go get that dump button ready. If that wasp stings me, there's no chance I don't curse.
When it gets close,
0%.
Pop. It just
that might make it happen too.
We've got a busy show to get to. We've got stuff to give you. Hadad somehow worked it out to where I am on the hook financially for tequila shots. Apparently,
That's right.
If you show up here and you ask for a shot of tequila, I will
a shot of Volteo tequila
right here,
which is the official tequila of this guy you may have heard of him named Dak Prescott. You can have a shot on me and Borkey, no questions asked.
The NFL tight end. Colin Cowherd.
I swear to God.
Shout out Colin Cowherd.
We have a great show lined up. We are in the Pearl River Resort Studios. Wherever we travel, Pearl River Resort Studios. And, of course, Pearl River Resort is the sponsor here of the Not Fall Camp Tour. We are on stop number 2 here in Mississippi's College Town, in the best small town in America. We're in Stark Vegas, baby. Starkville, Mississippi. C-Spire text line is open to you, 601-879-4395. Right now at C-Spire, you can get everything you're looking for with the Ultimate Connect bundle. That's a new phone. That's a new tablet. That's a new watch. That's 100 gigs of data. It's just $90. Visit your local C-Spire store today or stop by cspire.com. C-Spire, inspired by, hold on a second.
Where's he going? Look at him running. Look at, that exercise routine has
it's paying off. It's paying off.
2 years ago, could you have done that?
I'd be dead already. I'd have got collapsed. 2 steps in, they would have had to drag me out of here.
All right.
I feel great today, though.
Lineup. 2 players coming up that you got to visit with a little bit earlier.
Let's just give you the lineup because it's a lot going on today.
It's extensive.
Isaac Smith, Sam West will join us first. Mississippi State tight end, a player maybe you don't know a lot about, but you should. He's going to play a big role for the Bulldogs.
Willie's cousin.
He's the opposite of Will East.
Yeah.
Sam West. Yeah. There we go. That's good. That was good. After that, Isaac Smith, Mississippi State all SEC safety. You know Isaac. He is going to join us. Spoke to both of these guys after practice on Saturday night. A couple of quick interviews with them. Top of the 4 o'clock hour, we'll have our first live guest. Director of Athletics, Zach Selman, will be here to talk about everything going on here at Mississippi State, everything going on here in Starkville. He's, I think, going to join us for 2 segments. Then we'll talk to Coach Lebby. Coach Lebby, talked to him on Sunday. That's a good interview. I think you'll enjoy it. A lot of good stuff in there. Interviewed him before the breaking news of last night, obviously.
Which we will get to.
We will get to in just a second. The 5 o'clock hour, we'll get away from football a little bit. Coach Sam Purcell will join us here live at the landing. Then we'll talk to Coach Chris Jans, Coach Brian O'Connor. A lot of crypto talk with Coach O'Connor. He's very, very, a lot of Elon Musk.
He's invested
in that way. Yeah, very much so. So that's all we've got coming up. But as you mentioned a second ago, last night Pete Thamel from ESPN breaking the news that Mississippi State is going to try to bring back a couple of players who, I'll be honest with you, if they can pull it off, they are
helpful.
Legitimate difference makers for the Bulldogs.
So let's start there first. Who are they? Let's just start with there. Mississippi State, it's a very important distinction, you said, because the way that On 3, not local On 3, very important distinction
National.
there too. National On 3 reported that, made it sound like, boom, done. These guys are back, ready to go. That's not necessarily the case, but let's start with who.
The players in question are former safety Jerron Manning and defensive end, edge, however you want to list him, Malik Silla. Both of these guys were good players for State last year. Silla led State in tackles for loss on the season. Manning was one of the best safeties in the SEC. He and Isaac Smith were a really good duo last year. We talked earlier today with Jeff Lebby. Lebby was very vague, I think intentionally so, because in his words, there's still a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of boxes left to check. I think he said that about 4 times today.
Yeah.
So Lebby's mindset is, look, he said they're in the building. So my guess is they're working with their conditioning. They're in the weight room. They're working with trainers, but they're not on the practice field. Until they're declared completely eligible, until everything is squared away from the NCAA, that's the way it's going to have to be. Lebby is focused on the guys that are on the practice field. If those 2 guys show up, he'll turn his focus to them.
Yeah.
My guess is, considering the NCAA's track record in these suits, that those 2 guys are going to be suiting up in maroon and white this year. If not, I'm sure there's a judge somewhere in, Macomb or wherever you want to put them.
Whatever the district court is.
Jerron and Malik, I can't wait to help you the way I helped other people. I can't wait to see it.
See?
So I think I'll be surprised if those guys don't play. The question, of course, is going to be how much can they contribute, how quickly can they contribute to Mississippi State. I can't imagine these guys are ready to go week 1. If let's say today,
because neither one of them were in an NFL training camp, so they have not.
Manning was. He got an undrafted free agent, so he got some work in.
But when
not
did
a whole training camp. No. So you have that.
Just started like 2 weeks ago, though. Was he?
He was in like the rookie,
the mini camp stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have no idea what kind of shape those guys are in. My guess is first couple of weeks, you acclimate them, and then maybe by South Carolina, they're good to go. But I do think, and I think that there's been a lot of focus on Jerron Manning, as there should be. Good player. Silla is the difference maker to me. State needs pass rushers. This was your best guy at it last year. Yeah. Having him on board would go a long way for Mississippi State. So we'll see if that happens.
So a lot of things to unpack there. First of all, there's a reason that you should listen to us every day. 1, because our sponsors would thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And 2, because when that news broke, and again, I'm talking from a national perspective, you see the graphics and stuff, these players coming back and as if it was a done deal. Mm-hmm. It's not a done deal. They've got to work through this. There's a lot of
boxes left to check.
A lot of boxes left to check. I mean, there's questions. If they signed? So there's different kind of UDFA deals. Was it just a tryout invite? Because if you didn't get paid to go try out, good. That helps Mississippi State.
Yes.
If you had an NFL contract, there's a layer
there's some gray area. There's a lot of gray area.
There's a lot of gray area, and the NCAA successfully suspended Arian Carter for 2 games for accepting 1 flight. So if these guys were paid by NFL teams, there's more that has to get cleared there. So that's why you should listen to us, because we provided that context with Xavier Harris yesterday. Yes. Same thing today. I would like to think I'm a pretty consistent person, and I'm consistent on this as well.
Yeah.
I think that these 2 guys should be able to play without having to go find a local judge to allow them to play. The NCAA made this decision before the draft. They knew they were going to do this. Mm-hmm. And all of these class of 2022 guys had to make decisions about their future that they would not have had they known. And so that's why both of these guys should be able to play for Mississippi State this season, because they would not have left had they had the year. And the NCAA knew they were going to give the year, but they dragged their feet. And so these guys had to go try their hand at the NFL, and they forgive my language, they got screwed over by a bad organization that has a bad process.
Yes.
And so they should be allowed to play. It is kind of funny that the same people that spent the offseason talking about Trinidad and winning a court case against the NCAA
I don't know what you're talking
are
about.
excited about playing 2 players that just won a court case against the NCAA.
Well, I feel like theirs is a much stronger case.
Of course.
No tonsillitis involved.
I'm just saying.
Nobody had a scratchy
just
throat.
Saying, a
This is all
Colorado
legality.
judge went against what the NCAA said.
I don't know.
But seriously, they should be allowed to play.
Yeah,
I'm consistent on this.
I'm interested.
They should be allowed to play.
So, as I mentioned with Jeff Lebby, very intentionally vague, I thought. I'm going to ask Zach Selman about this. Like, what is the process from the university side? Is there a process? Or are they just kind of prisoners of the moment? Or is it just they'll get an email and be like, yep or nope? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So we'll talk to Zach.
Find a local judge, get it done, because the NCAA made these players make a decision without having the information that the NCAA had. It's incredibly unfair, and they should be allowed to play. Do whatever you have to do to make it happen.
All right. When we get back here, we are live here at the Landing in Starkville. We're on the rooftop. The fans are blowing. Beautiful day out here. Look at this, the Cotton District in all its glory behind us. It's fantastic.
Great.
We got great giveaways happening right now. Our friends at Mitchell Distributing. You want to go to Las Vegas? They can make that happen for you. Just go find out how. When we come back, we'll talk for just a second, but then we're going to start off our interviews with Mississippi State tight end Sam West. My conversation with him following this past Saturday's practice. He's getting ready for a big season for Mississippi State with Kamario Taylor and the Bulldog offense. We'll do it all when we come back. We're in Mississippi's College Town. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour presented by Pearl River Resort. We'll be back in just a minute.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Sports. On your radio and in the game. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hi, we are back here in Starkville at the Landing, the Not Fall Camp Tour. Stop number 2, presented by Pearl River Resort. Brian Hadad, Michael Borkey. A lot of folks coming up here on the rooftop, having a cold one, enjoying the Cotton District. Let's go to the Farm Bureau guest line for the first time of many times today. Earlier this past weekend, I caught up with Mississippi State tight end Sam West, a guy who I think is going to have a big role to play for the Bulldogs this year. Got his thoughts on the upcoming season, what's going on in camp, and of course, Kamario Taylor. Sports Talk Mississippi, live here. We're actually on the MSU practice field right now, part of the Not Fall Camp Tour. I'm here with Mississippi State tight end Sam West. Are you familiar with the Not Fall Camp thing that we're trying to do? It's not fall. It's not fall in any way, shape, or form.
I'm from Indiana, so.
Oh, it's even worse then, yeah. You are kind of the lead dog in a room that doesn't have a whole ton of experience right now. You've got a guy in Riley Williams there who's been around a little bit but hasn't been here. You've got a true freshman there in Zayon Cotton. What kind of leadership role have you taken on early in camp here?
Yeah, I think just kind of by default, based on situations in the room, that I'm the kind of default leader, and so it's something that's been new for me. But I think I've done everything I can to kind of excel in that, just be a guy that is that leader in the room. But I also want to give Riley credit. Like he's played some football. We're in the same class, and I've learned a lot from him. Just technique-wise, like he's helped me a lot, just in technique-wise, and I've kind of helped him scheme. So he's been really good to have.
You mentioned scheme. This is an offense that there are times where the ball will go to the tight end, and if you're watching the game on television, there's nobody on the screen except for the tight end. It just finds open tight ends. What is it about what Coach Lebby wants to do scheme-wise that allows for guys like you to have such big play opportunities?
Yeah, I think it's just, when you're in an offense like this, there's kind of endless capabilities of what you can do as a tight end. And obviously that's kind of the great thing about the tight end position is we can be so dynamic in what, we are capable of. And so it's pretty much up to us as far as like what our skill set is. The sky's the limit for what, where we can be involved in the offense. So, Coach Lebby does a great job with just, finding ways to get people the ball in different ways. And so that's kind of, the best thing about this offense is just the dynamic aspect of it, and how many points you can score and how much we can run up the scoreboard with being dynamic, and just it's all about execution. So
One thing they always say about a young quarterback is they love to find the tight end. It becomes almost like a safety valve now. What's your chemistry like right now with Kamario?
Yeah, me and Kamario have developed a lot of chemistry, especially this offseason. Just throwing, every week, whether that's top of routes, whether that's full, routes. But obviously that's important, right, to build chemistry with the tight end, because there is, an aspect of building that relationship and kind of being able to, make plays outside of, on scrambles and whatever it may be. And so obviously we're still working on that. Fall camp, we got a long way to go from where we want to be, but it's been good to build that chemistry with him.
You dropped the fall camp in there. We gotta get rid of that verbiage. We got branding and everything for this. So a lot of new voices on the offensive side of the ball. Coach Johns, Coach Montgomery. You bring in Coach Wells, Coach Miller on the offensive line. A lot of experience. Does it feel different on the practice field with those guys out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have new minds and new just perspectives on ways to accomplish the same thing. And ultimately, the offense is still the offense, and our job is still to score points and win games. And so at the end of the day, that's all we're trying to do. So
it's just about being dynamic. I know Coach likes to talk about score from far. And we were just talking to Anthony Evans a minute ago, and he dropped it in there. Does that mentality go into like every drill that you guys do, every moment of practice we're talking about? We want to have explosive plays out here every single time we've got the ball.
Yeah. The goal is to score from far, but at the end of the day, whatever it takes to win a game. So that's my mentality. I want to be, as far as you talk about me kind of being the leader of the tight end room. I want the tight ends to just be the toughest dudes on the field, And so if we score from far, that's the goal. But if not, we're going to grind out a drive. If we have to grind out a drive, we'll do whatever it takes to score and win games. And I think that's the big thing from last year is we got to finish games. And so no matter what it takes, whether it's in the fourth quarter or the fourth overtime, we're going to win the game. And that's the goal this year, is to win the game in overtime or wherever it may be.
You mentioned Riley Williamson. Let's talk about this young freshman that's in this room with us, Zion Cotton. Big, physical freshman. He looks the part already. He looks like a college football player even as an 18-year-old kid. What kind of player do you think he can be? What's the ceiling on a young man like that?
Right, I think there's no ceiling on a guy that's that talented. And I think the biggest thing when you talk about coming into college is just, it's, at the end of the day, it's up to your habits and your choices that are going to decide what makes you a great player. I think, I'm not Zay Cotton. I'm probably not as fast as him, maybe not as talented as he is. And what's made me, given me the ability to get to this point and have a chance to, get on the field is just by the daily habits that you build. And so, that's what, if anything, I could pass on to him is like, it's up to you and your, the habits that you build, and the sky's the limit for a guy like him. So.
They talk about when you're in camp like this, you get to that point where I just want to hit somebody wearing a different color jersey. Are you there yet? It's only been 3 practices, but are you already ready for week 1?
Yeah. I think we've been ready for week 1 since the time we came back in January. Obviously, the main goal is to win the first game, right? So we're focused on just being the best version of ourselves. And I think at the end of the day, all you can do is just wake up in the morning and my kind of mentality is like, there's no need to focus on a month from now. My job right now is to go in there, recover, eat, just do everything I can to get my body back ready on Monday. And so, that's kind of the way I look at it is, if I'm not focusing on right now, then there's no point in working towards week 1.
I mean, I told Coach Lebby when I talked to him at media days, I was like, I know at this point in my career with you, there is no week 2. There's no point in even talking to you about Minnesota, South Carolina. Those games don't exist with Coach Lebby. It's all about ULM and that first week game. What do you want to see from yourselves this year? I know you've got team goals. Y'all want to win every game that you play. You want to compete for the college football playoff. What about Sam West himself? What does he want to do on the football field this year?
Yeah, I think I don't like to put numbers or statistics or anything. I think I want to be the toughest dude on the field. I want to be the most reliable dude on the field. I want to be the best teammate I can be. And I think that the rest will take care of itself. And so I'm focused on just being that and doing whatever I can to ultimately win the first game.
Sam, really appreciate your time, man. I'll let you get in there and recovery. Sam West, Mississippi State football tight end, part of the not fall camp tours. Tell the friends, tell everybody out here. We're not calling it fall camp. Tell Coach Lebby. He said it 3 times the other day. We'll be back in just a minute. We are back here at the landing. I see y'all's complaints. Guys, we're doing the best we can there.
That was Hadad on a lawnmower, though.
Yeah,
that is what that was.
We
so
actually
you guys
did
were right.
the thing on a lawnmower. Yeah, we did the best we can there. That being said, great to talk to Sam. Really appreciate him. You know this as well as I do, that when we're talking about this offense, call it what you want, the veer and shoot, the wide choice, the Kiffin, Lebby, Briles, whoever you want to attribute it to. It is an offense that when it's working at its peak, when it's humming, the tight end is a huge piece of that. And
it might be, this is going to be a little hot takey, but a quality tight end might be, aside from quarterback, the most important position that offense has, because of how they're able to scheme up that position and how important it is to keep the defense honest and so on and so forth. If you don't have a quality tight end, that offense doesn't work.
What I said if you may have heard, but the question I said was, there are times when you win this offense where if you're watching the game on television, the ball gets thrown to the tight end, and there's nobody on the television screen but the tight end.
Yep.
And it just creates those mismatches, and we're going to see if Sam West can be that guy. He's got a great opportunity because, Riley Williams in that tight end room for Mississippi State has kind of been all around, was a highly recruited guy out of high school, but it just hasn't clicked for him, has had some injury issues. And then you bring in a really talented freshman from Grenada, Zayn Cotton, who is a physical, doesn't look like a freshman. He's 6'5", 225-pounder coming to Mississippi State as an 18-year-old. I think they have high hopes for him for the future. What can he do in year one for Mississippi State? That's going to be the question. So just
it's a fascinating position.
It is. And, especially when you look at State, you feel really good about what they have in the wide receiver room, right? Anthony Evans is going to be really solid. This offense is just, the wide receivers are going to be fine there. I don't have a problem with that. The tight end last year, I think people underrate what Seydou Traore was able to do for State. This guy was picked in the 5th round in the NFL draft. He was
crazy, yeah.
He was State's 3rd leading receiver last year, so they got to replace 30-plus catches and 5 touchdowns. We'll see if they're able to do that. So, all right, when we come back to the landing, we're going to go back to the Farm Bureau guest line. If you didn't like that audio, I got great news for you. We got more of it. Talking to Isaac Smith, SEC, all SEC safety for the Bulldogs. His thoughts on the upcoming season, and, of course, working with some really talented guys in that MSU secondary. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour here live at the landing in Starkville. We're presented by Pearl River Resort. We'll be back in just a moment.
From the Sports Talk Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi.
You know I love sports.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
Interview. I do think a shout-out is in order for the food that was delivered to us here.
Yeah, we are here live at the landing here in Starkville, right in the Cotton District. Rooftop bar, 2-story bar. One of the premier college bars in all of the SEC, and they were kind enough to give us, I tweeted out a picture. We got a sampler platter with some chicken fingers, mozzarella sticks, some Southwest egg rolls, and a big platter of barbecue nachos. Can't go wrong with any of that stuff. If you haven't tried this, don't sleep on the food at the landing. A lot of people come here, they just want to have a good time, have a few drinks, but the food is top-notch. Definitely come and check it out. We appreciate them hooking us up with that. All right, going back to the audio, I will just go ahead and let you know now.
Hey, Dad was on a lawnmower when this happened.
I actually did this while we were driving down I-55 with the top down, and there was a giant cricket in the back seat with me, but it is kind of is what it is. So my interview from this past Saturday with Mississippi State All-SEC safety Isaac Smith. We go back to the Farm Bureau guest line to talk to the Bulldog defensive back. Back here at the Not Fall Camp Tour, Mississippi State football. You guys know who this is. This is senior All-SEC, All-American defensive back safety Isaac Smith. I saw you at baseball. You remember this? I told you I was going to run up to you and go, "Oh my God, are you Kelly Jones?"
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, my wife got a big kick out of that.
That's one of my, like I said, I love baseball games.
I know, it's
I'm
fun.
always there.
So I got the chance to talk to Coach Arnett on Monday. Who, of course, recruited you out of high school, and I asked him, what was it like to see Isaac again? How's he changed? He gave a really detailed answer about how he changed, not only as a player, but as you've grown as a man. What about Coach Arnett? What's different about him this time around now that he's back at Mississippi State?
He's still the driven, aggressive guy that he was when he was here the first time.
Yeah.
I think things have changed with him since he left. He went places and he gained greater knowledge. And I think that's great for us because he goes places that's been winning. And being able to bring that back with the same defense and the same mindset that he had then is great.
And then you've got a new assistant coach running the safety room right now, and Coach Harvey, the guy we haven't had a chance to meet yet. I don't know a lot about him. What kind of coach is he? What does he bring to your group?
He's a young guy. He has a lot of energy, and that's great. He's smart. He's coached under a lot of great coaches, and he's getting us prepared for a great season that we're about to have. And it's great having Coach Rose in there to help him. Just another head that's coached a lot of football. So it's great having Harvey and Coach Rose there in that room as well.
So you are a true outlier in college football days. You've been in Mississippi State for 4 years. You've never been in the transfer portal. Just such a strange thing nowadays for you. Has it always just been about staying here at Mississippi State? Has it ever even entered your mind, I might want to look around?
You said it's a strange thing. For me, it ain't strange. Right. Because this is my home. I grew up an hour and a half up the road. Yeah. I've said it before. I didn't grow up a Mississippi State fan, right. But over the course of time, I fell in love with the place. There's nothing like it. You look back now at this beautiful sunset. Yeah. And you see that Mississippi State logo.
We need to turn the lights on, man. We need some light for this interview.
It's great. And there's no place like it in the country. They call it Stark Vegas, but I call it home. Yeah. So it's great because it's the people here, the atmosphere, fans, coaches, just everything about this place.
They call it Stark Vegas, but I call it home. It's going to end up on a graphic. I'm just going to tell you. The guys are here that do the social media. There's no way they're not picking that one out. We've done it again. What does being a safety? What does having a guy like Kelly Jones on the field do for you?
If you're to his side, your odds of the ball coming there. Especially late last year. When you look at the Ole Miss game, he got 0 targets. Yeah. It's good having that. But at the same time, it's great having a guy that's also been here with me 4 years and stayed loyal. Kelly didn't have a chance to play his freshman year like that. It's just him seeing it out, sticking it out, and being here all 4 years. It's great to have a brother like that because the trust, everything, everything, but mainly trust and just it's family to me. So it gives me another reason to want to go out there and give my all.
I thought your first year as a starter, I thought you absolutely tackled the team. You led the SEC in tackles over there. You led Mississippi State. I thought last year you improved a lot in terms of coverage. You had your first interception. I thought you were around the ball a lot more in the passing game. What about year 3 as a starter? What has Isaac Smith been working on this offseason to bring to the field?
Really just everything. Like you said, my first year, I was a big emphasis on tackling. And I was playing more linebacker there than my first class sophomore year. And then you look at my junior year, I started playing back to that middle piece, but also linebacker. This year with Arnett, I'm playing, majority safety. So I have to be better on my feet. So for year 3, for me, it's just, gaining better knowledge of football and just getting better on my feet and keeping my feet under me. Because, I go back and watch film and I look sloppy in a bunch of things. So I think just being able to play under control with my feet under me. That's my biggest goal.
Are you hard on yourself when you watch film?
I am. Very hard.
I was Lebby was asking about Mario the other day. He said, he may be the hardest guy he's ever seen as far as correcting himself. Is that something that's throughout the team, though? People are watching film, and there's not a lot of congratulations going on in the film sessions. It's a lot of, we've got to do this better.
I think it's a mixture. It's like 50-50 because you want to congratulate somebody when they're doing good, but also show them what they can do better on that clip. But then when they're doing bad, you don't want to just shoot them down too much, but you want to be honest with them. And I think that's my part is the older guys teaching the young guys how to watch film and how to critique themselves about things, which everybody has their own way of critiquing themselves. But for me, about myself,
I try to find at least 2 things I can fix every day, even if it's eyes or feet, just little things.
What were today's 2 things?
Today, I haven't watched film yet.
Okay.
Today.
What was yesterday's?
Yesterday's was staying clean and my footwork.
Okay. What was off on the footwork?
I was just getting out of my pedal too fast,
Okay.
or I was too slow, or not getting enough depth when I needed it.
I know all about being too slow. Don't you worry about it. I'm an expert in that topic. If you ever need any advice on that. Kamario Taylor, what kind of problems does he present the defense?
I don't look at him as a dual threat quarterback. I look at him as a triple threat quarterback.
Triple threat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what is it?
He has an arm that God blesses only a few people with.
Yeah.
He has a leg that God only blesses a few people with, and then his IQ. That's the third part of his game that really goes overlooked. He's still a young guy, but playing on the Blake last year, you got Jeff Lebby and all these great offensive coaches surrounding him. He's not just a dual threat quarterback. He's a triple threat.
When I talked to him at media days, for a kid he's got to be 19? He felt really mature. Is that you sense that?
And he is, because like I said, the levels of you look at him last year to now, he's just taking this offseason so much better because he knows the load that he's gonna have to take. He knows he has to stay healthy. He is I would say he's our heart and soul. He's our centerpiece. He's our quarterback one. So just seeing him grow each and every day is special to me because I've known K1 for a long time. And just seeing him come in and progress each and every day is great to see.
Is your least favorite part about practice that you don't get to go fishing?
I would say hunting.
Yeah, but I know you're the outdoors man.
But see, that's the thing when you're playing football, especially playing safety.
You can still get to hunt.
Yeah.
There you go.
Different time.
Isaac, really appreciate your time here today, man. Talk to you again soon. We're here at the Not Fall Camp Tours, Starkville, Mississippi. We're live at the Landing. Be back in just a minute.
Go State.
And that was Brian Hadad live from a racetrack. There was a race going by in the background. And
all of that John Deere equipment that passed behind me is brought to you by Ag Up. Ag Up, your down-home dealer. If you are looking to get a new John Deere compact tractor, 1 through 4 series, they got you taken care of with 0% financing. Go visit your local Ag Up dealer today, 15 of them throughout the state of Mississippi, so they're easy to find. Or you can just go to agup.com. Ag Up and John Deere, built for what's next. See dealer for details. Some exclusions do apply. Ag Up brought you that interview with Isaac Smith.
We're upstairs at the Landing in Starkville. Come by and see us. You might get some stuff on us.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to give away. Our friends at Mitchell Distributing have got a lot of great Mississippi State stuff. We got a box full of SuperTalk hats. We've got giveaways.
Well, it's less full now than it was a little while ago.
We've got giveaways from Pearl River Resort, so you can get a free night stay. You can get a round of golf. I think we gave away a round of golf earlier today. We've got some free meals at Philip M's, one of the top restaurants in this entire state. It's all right here for you at the Landing. Come by. Plus, if you got a little mid-afternoon buzz you want to get working on, me and Borkey, we got a shot of Volteo tequila with your name on it right now.
On us.
It's on us. Come by and see us here at the Landing. Isaac Smith, as I said in the interview, just a true outlier of college football. A 4-year player. Never been in the transfer portal. Love the quote.
Had a coaching change in there too, and didn't matter.
Yeah, think about it. He was recruited by Mike Leach.
Yeah,
and signs with Zach Arnett, stays with Arnett, stays with Jeff Lebby. Never entered the portal. I told him that quote he had in there will end up on a graphic very soon. Some call it Stark Vegas. I just call it home. That Mississippi State's marketing department is already on top of that.
Print the T-shirts.
That's a T-shirt.
Mississippi State. You will sell them. There are people here, I promise you, that would buy them.
I have great news, ladies and gentlemen.
No more lawnmowers?
There's no more interviews like that on this show. The rest of them are just normal interviews. Yeah. No more cheeky shenanigans or anything like that.
Look at the AI picture on our text line, right?
That's what I wish I was that thin. Jeez, I look great in that picture. All right, when we come back, we're just going to be here, and then at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, Zach Selman's going to join us, Mississippi State Director of Athletics. Great show coming up. Great times here in Starkville. We're at the Landing. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour presented by Pearl River Resort. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Mark.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is your new home for exclusive sports coverage here in the Magnolia State. Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi from the Landing. We are upstairs outside in Starkville. So glad that you're with us. Come by and see us. We got stuff to give to you if you just show up and say hello. Hadad has got a tab open, food, drinks, everything on
Kind
him.
of.
Yeah, he's
Kind of. It's kind of open.
We got this table over here. Guys that are ages that we wish that we were.
Those are just guys being dudes right there.
But not a oh, there's one. One has gotten a shot paid for on you.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Enjoy, boys.
They're going to sleep good tonight.
That's courtesy of two of the greatest Bulldogs that ever lived, me and Dak Prescott. Not necessarily in that order.
I mean, you guys are the same. You really are.
No, we're not. No, we're not. He's done quite a bit more.
Let's go back, revert back a little bit to
sure.
the importance of a hot start to this season. Somebody asked me earlier, what do you think the Bulldogs are going to be? It's like, we'll know by the end of week 3, which is...
I will know earlier than that, my friend.
By the end of week 2, to be honest.
We'll know earlier than that, my friend.
Well...
I'm telling you right now...
If we are talking about the ULM game on Monday, other than, they won...
That's my point.
Dominantly.
That's my point. That if State isn't dominant in that game, that's a talking point. If they don't win that game, I think I mentioned it the other day, I saw an early line. It was like 28.5. They should cover that easily.
I like that cover.
They beat up Southern Miss last year in a game that
was a good Southern Miss team.
That was a better Southern Miss team than this ULM team is.
Infinitely.
And it is it's also at home. And, that game last year with Southern Miss, it was 34-10 in the fourth quarter. I felt like State, if they had wanted to push that lead out, they could have
pushed, and they took their feet off the gas.
They ended up winning by 17. This is a game, they should win and win easily, and it shouldn't be any real problem. And if they don't, that's an issue. And then the next week with Minnesota, it's real simple. It's win or go home. It's almost like survive and advance for Mississippi State. So, very few teams in the country by week 2 are we going to almost know the full story of a season. But with Mississippi State, I really do think that we are one of those teams.
It's such a fascinating, is the word dichotomy? Such a fascinating dichotomy between you're breaking in a super talented, super young quarterback while also needing to win right away, while also having a schedule that's demanding right away, all at the same time. It's so interesting.
It's very tough.
Because Kamario Taylor, it's his first road start at Minnesota. If he throws a couple of picks, we come back on Monday, it's like, hey, young quarterback. Those things kind of happen to young quarterbacks. Jeff Lebby can't afford that.
They can't, I saw your segment while I was out about no grace period.
There's no grace period.
For Kamario Taylor, and you're correct. He has to be good day one for Mississippi State. For State to be what it wants to be this year, which is, I think, if you could get truth serum into Jeff Lebby, because he's never going to look ahead past week 1, but B, he's not going to tell you that his team, we would be doing good to be going 8-4, right? But if you got the truth serum here, I think if he said, look, if this team was 8-4 and a top 25 team at the end of the season,
oh my gosh,
this is an incredibly successful year. To have any shot at that involves Kamario Taylor being one of the best quarterbacks, not only in the SEC but in the country.
Right.
They need him to be 3,000 to 3,500 passing yards, 30 to 40 touchdowns total, 600 to 800 rushing yards. They need that from him. If they can get it, they're going to be just fine. If they can't, well, it's going to be difficult.
If Jeff Lebby, so I've been watching Supernatural, as you guys know. If some kind of thing from Supernatural comes down and gives Jeff Lebby, hey, right now, I will give you a 7-5 record. I will not tell you what happens in the Egg Bowl. I will just give you 7 wins. Mm-hmm. Would Jeff Lebby take that right now?
I think he would.
I think
he would. We had a discussion about the Egg Bowl on today's Thunder and Lightning podcast. We kind of just ranked the schedule. And I made the comment about the Egg Bowl. Like, if you go 7-5 and lose the Egg Bowl, it would suck because you're 7-4 coming into that. You probably feel like you had a chance to win, right? You're like, oh, we're 7-4.
7-4 going into the
Let's say Ole Miss is 8-3 coming in. You're going to be like, oh, you got a chance to win that game. And if you lose it for the third straight, and losing 3 straight Egg Bowls,
and
that's what I said before.
6-7 or 5-6, something like that.
What happened prior to Lebby, I'm not going to worry myself with. But with Lebby losing 3 straight Egg Bowls, it's been since the 50s since a coach has survived that. Now, if he goes 7-5 and loses the Egg Bowl, he absolutely survives that. No questions asked. But for me, the season is made or lost in the first month. In the month of September, Minnesota, South Carolina, Missouri. If you can win 2 of those games, you're doing great. 3 of them is out of this world.
If they're 3-1, then you're really changing the conversation.
If you're 3-1, you at least would feel like you have a fighting chance in one of the next 4. Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Texas. You would feel like we can get one of those 4 games. If you're 2-2, it's over.
Especially on your home field, because it gets lost on discussions. It's so hard. I mean, it's a cliche, but it's just so accurate. It is so hard to go on the road and win in the SEC. It's so freaking hard to do. And so when you've got LSU in your place...
Well, you don't have LSU.
No, oh gosh, no.
They have Oklahoma
in your place.
And Alabama.
Anything can happen in that spot. You saw it a season ago with better game management. You beat Arch Manning into all this Texas hype disappears with just a punt out of bounds last season. That's how hard it is to win on the road. So they are there.
We're going to talk to the top dog when he gets here. Zach Selman, Director of Athletics. He'll be joining us at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour. Sports Talk Mississippi. We're presented by Pearl River Resort. We'll be back right after this.
This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on SuperTalk.fm, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and always live on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station.
Sports Talk Mississippi, we are back here live on the Not Fall Camp Tour. Starkville, Mississippi, Mississippi's college town, Stark Vegas, call it what you will. I call this man the boss.
Hey, it's always good to be with you, Brian.
Zach Selman, Mississippi State.
Here we are.
I want to let you know that barbecue sauce, it's all gone. It's all gone.
Well, we got a supply.
Okay.
Did you get a 5-gallon bucket of that stuff?
Buddy, I cook out a lot. And I like barbecue sauce. I like his barbecue sauce. It was good.
We didn't want it all to be dry all the time.
I hear you.
Try to give him enough sauce.
I know.
Hadad has cooked for me once. It did not go well.
You're calling my meat dry. That would have problems. That would have problems.
The truth of that story is, I guess my dad's going through a bottle remodel. So all he had was the big jugs.
Yeah, I took it. It's good. It's good stuff. Good stuff here at Mississippi State going on right now. Let's just dive right into it. What's exciting you right now about what's happening here in Starkville?
Oh, so much. This time of year when students start coming back to campus, you always get excited. I know the streets will be full, shops will be full of all the supplies, but it's always a good time too to pause of like why we do what we do. And we do it because we're under the umbrella of higher education, and we've actually got a family that's staying with us getting here tonight, and they're dropping their daughter off, and she's their first kid or the oldest sibling, first time to go to college. So you get all those emotions, and I think it just expands out of all the young people that are about to start their journeys at Mississippi State, and that's always special. Then within athletics, this time of year means, okay, we got some competitions about to get started. And with having, volleyball has been in camp, soccer starts tomorrow night with their first game, and then clearly we just finished the 5th football practice earlier today. So we're already 20% way through camp. That means we got a lot of stuff about to start, and that's really exciting.
A friend of mine just texted me before the show started. He's a diehard Golden Eagle, and he's like, my daughter's on her way up here. I was like, give her my number. If you get in real trouble, let me help. I can't tell you how many of my friends from high school that were Rebels, Tigers, Golden Eagles, they send their kids to Mississippi State now. So I don't know what we're doing over there, but let's just keep doing that. Because I enjoy those conversations now that they have to buy some new gear.
For sure. We need them to buy a lot of new merch. And it's a special time, for families. And, my wife and I were talking, our oldest daughter, Shane, just started her sophomore year in high school. And so it's like, man, we're going to be dropping her off on campus here in a couple of years. Time flies, and we can't forget about, again, why we're doing what we're doing, and there's nothing better than college campus.
That's interesting because we get a little bit cynical with what we do, especially with high-level football. You see that, $50 million rosters and professional athletes, but still at its core, you're still doing the same things that you've always done in terms of trying to get these young men and women on track to get degrees. And I mean, from 18 to 22, there's a lot of growth in your life that goes on beyond just, the NIL money, that kind of stuff that you have to deal with.
Yeah, sometimes you see whether it's resources or just the size of athletes now, but at the end of the day, they're still young people. And, I know move-in on campus starts tomorrow for some groups and goes throughout the weekend. And just like everybody else, we'll have just over 70 student athletes that are going to be moving in the dorm. And so that's really fun, too, from start. And they've got, yes, they're elite athletes, but you got all the same emotions, and we can never lose sight of that.
Yeah. Let's dive into a little bit of Mississippi State. We'll start with the news that broke yesterday from Pete Thamel regarding a couple of student athletes possibly returning to the Mississippi State football team. We talked to Coach Lebby earlier today. He was vague about it, but I think he had to be vague about it because there's so much gray area right now. I think his quote was, "There's a lot of boxes left to check." From the university perspective, what does Mississippi State need to do? Or are you doing anything? Is it just a question of you got to wait on the NCAA to make their own decisions?
Yeah, so much of the changes that are going on, and I know it seems abnormal, could seem frustrating for a lot of different people. It's frustrating for a lot of us, too, as practitioners in it, because you try to make a plan, and then something like a court case in Colorado changes what your plans are. And so for us, we're always going to play within the rules, but if the rules change, we're going to have to be able to adapt to them. So it's really nice to have both guys back on campus and working out, but we'll have to go through a handful of other steps with the NCAA, and there's still some rulings that we have to come out and hear how they go. So it's not there's no just clear-cut answers, and I think from a different model, that's what we're all really trying to fight for. So there is some sustainability and some clear direction on national standards, but until we get there, this is kind of the world we're operating in, and we're going to have to continue to be as bold as we possibly can.
Without violating privilege, what are those steps? Is it submitting stuff to the NCAA? I mean, because we saw Arian Carter at Tennessee get suspended for getting one flight paid for, which is laughable in and of itself. But so what are the steps in order to get these guys eligible, or do you even know what the steps are right now?
Yeah, so we're continuing, and our compliance office does a great job working with our conference office, but also with the NCAA on getting our athletes back eligible. Some of it's just going to be a little bit of time, and this is every change, there's always downstream effects, and so we're still learning through all those boxes that Coach Lebby referenced earlier to make sure that we're communicating the right thing to our athletes, but also it's going to take some time for us to make sure we get it properly vetted out, and they can hopefully have an opportunity to play, but a lot of it's going to be outside of our control.
When you got into college athletics, I imagine this was what you wanted to be talking about.
There's a lot has changed in college athletics, but you love what you do because you work with great people and you get to work with so many amazing coaches and athletes, but there's so much that's changed, and you think about it, a year ago, could you forecast some of the changes that have happened today? You're like, absolutely not. So again, that's from a national level, from a conference level, that's why we're also bullish on making sure that we can get some national standards that we can plan accordingly and make a great experience for everybody.
A year ago, you guys make the announcement you're going to install LED lights at Davis Wade Stadium. I thought they were fantastic, especially the Arizona State game, the post-game scenes are that. What's next at Davis Wade Stadium? I know that the speakers are on the list. Where is that? What's the calendar for that?
Yeah, so like anything, this time last year we were just rolling out, I believe it's just over $9 million in facility enhancements at Davis Wade, everything geared at, we want to make sure we continue to have a great environment. And I thought games like the Arizona State game, I know this year with our opener, we'll have the opportunity to really display the lights, and also our conference opener with Missouri, I believe is a night window game. So we'll continue to look at it as we go from this time last year to now. There's a lot that's changed just on the economics and what the cost to retain rosters, to increase NIL offerings. So as we look at it, we want sound just as much as everybody. I want sound. Every time I'm standing in Davis Wade on Saturday, I know what elite sound system can do for the in-game environment. But we also got to recognize the changes that are going on in our industry. So I can't give you an exact timetable of when it'll happen. Just know I want it, our fans want it, we want it, everybody wants it, but we also have a great responsibility to be as smart with resources in this era as possible. We'll continue to look at things along with what we can do with the lights, what we can do with temporary sound options, also what we can do with our concessions and all of our points of sale. So those things will continue to be as bold moving forward as we possibly can. But know that our commitment to the sound project, just like we've shown, I think, over the last couple of years of putting in just north of $80 million in our facility projects across the board, you have to have all of it. And that's one of the key messages here, I think, in this era. Maybe things don't go as fast from a facility infrastructure, but it continues to take all of it to make sure we have the systems and the facilities in place, along with everything that we have to do with the economic changes of our business, to make sure we're a holistic, competitive program.
We had we had Jeremy McLean on last week, and I kind of asked him about this. How tough is it nowadays? We only got a couple minutes left in this segment. With NIL, you want to try to convince your fans we need to channel our money here, but facilities are still a thing, and you have to have top-notch facilities. How difficult is that messaging?
I empathize with fans, with donors, because it's been confusing for us a lot over the last couple of years, and it's really confusing for our fans and our donor base. I think the answer to your question is it takes everything, and I'm eternally grateful for the season ticket holders, for the donors, all the alums that have really stepped up and helped us getting us in a position to where we're at today. But the reality is, especially in our conference, you have to have everything if you're trying to go after the level of athletes we are, to not only get there, but also make sure that we have a program that's built for sustainability and success long term.
Speaking with Zach Selman, Mississippi State Athletic Director here at the Landing. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour. We're going to keep him around here for just a few more minutes and talk to him when we come back. Plenty still to talk about here at Mississippi State, here in Starkville, so appreciate his time. We are here at the Landing. We would love for you to come out and join us if you would like. If you're, end of the day for you, we've got some of Dak's fine tequila right there, a shot. It's on us. Me and Borkey have got you covered.
Hadad's already down to bottle.
That's
if you're wondering why the show quality has gone down.
That's why I'm so giddy today, as they're telling us here. We'll be back in just a minute with Mississippi State Athletic Director Zach Selman here at the Not Fall Camp Tour, live at the Landing. We're presented by Pearl River Resort.
Hey, sorry about that.
You can be a part of Sports Talk Mississippi. 888-808-8637 on Super Talk Mississippi.
Not Fall Camp Tour presented by Pearl River Resort. We are joined again by Mississippi State Athletic Director Zach Selman. By the way, we were in Tampa for media days. You didn't tell me there was Selman Park and Selman Expressway and all this. I sent you a picture. I was like, where's your statue?
Hey, I better just go polish Uncle Leroy's statue off.
That caught me so off guard. I was like, Selman. I got to get the phone out on that one. So.
One of the funny stories on that, I didn't realize that he had the expressway there in Tampa named after him. I was actually driving down the road with him, and I kind of passed a sign. I was like, wait a minute, Uncle Leroy, are we on your expressway? He was like, yeah, it's not a big deal.
It means you can go as fast as you want.
You just show your name, right? It's like, this is my road.
No, he's used to growing up horses and buggies, and they rode mules to church. we go slow, and when my dad and then clearly when my Uncle Leroy was living, he always drove really slow, so below the speed limit.
I got you.
We just watched a cycle where Congress attempted to pass the Protect College Sports Act, whatever that act was. They did not even bring it to a vote before recess. There's doubts whether or not it'll pass at all. Are you at a place now where you are considering what your colleague in Knoxville is talking about, collective bargaining? Where are you? Where's Mississippi State's stance on Congress's involvement and what should happen next to bring rules back to the sports?
Yeah, I think it starts with what you just said. We have to have rules that everybody knows, that there's transparency with, that is enforceable, that's sustainable. And so one of the things is a recognition that what we're doing right now isn't working. And I appreciate so much work done locally on campuses, within conference offices, and then clearly with legislators in Washington, D.C. to help us get this to this point. I think we've had a lot of good discussions, and I know for Mississippi State it's great to have a president like Mark Keenum that has been involved in Washington most of his professional life. So he's got such great insight. I know working with the presidents and chancellors within the Southeastern Conference, I think just a couple Fridays ago there was a statement of support for the Protect College Sports Act between the Big Ten presidents and the SEC presidents. So I think the goal is continue to see what happens after the Senate comes back from recess, which will be mid-September is when kind of the timeline we're looking at where this goes. But there's a lot of steps left in that process. I think in the meantime, we also got to continue to explore what alternative options can be. Again, we know how things are going isn't sustainable. And I know I get tired of saying that word. Fans get tired of hearing that word. But until we have some national guardrails that we know what the rules are, that are enforceable, again, that there's clear national framework, we're going to continue to be in this patchwork system that doesn't really work for anybody. And so I'm in big favor of a lot of the things that are in the Protect College Sports Act. I know no bill is perfect, and so there's a lot of things that we got to continue to work through. But I think in the meantime, one of the great things about the Southeastern Conference is the commitment to the whole, and some of the conversations we've had of making sure, regardless of what happens with the Protect College Sports Act, we got to continue to be in a position to put our institutions and our conference in a really good position. So again, we know what we're doing right now won't work, and so this is a step, and I hope we can continue to work with Congress to make sure that we protect everything that we love about college sports and make it so it's fair for everybody that participates, but also sets it up for future generations. I got in this business a lot because of what college athletics did for me, and we want to continue to make sure we're providing broad-based opportunities for males, females, because it truly is life-changing. Sometimes it again, in this era, when you see NIL money, you see all the transfers, all the things that you might say aren't great with college athletics. Let me tell you, when you see, for us, just over 90% of our student athletes graduating, like that's meaningful. When you see the faces of kids that are about to move on campus, that's going to be really meaningful. So I think this is another step for us to try to take a step forward on national governance that can really help us have, again, rules, regulations, because without that, we're going to continue to be in this cycle where it's impossible to lead, impossible to manage.
When you started here at Mississippi State's NIL was not in a great place. We'll just be honest about it. Through a lot of hard work from you, your staff, from our friend Charlie Winfield, I feel like Mississippi State is in a place now where they are competitive within the Southeastern Conference and nationally in all the major sports for NIL. How do you feel about where State's NIL is right this second? Do you feel like, I feel like State's fans, for whatever reason, were slow to grip onto NIL, that they didn't want to do it at first. Do you feel now that you've got more acceptance from Mississippi State fans?
Yeah, I think people, anytime there's something new, it takes some time.
Yeah.
And so I think first it was just time and education on what it is, what it isn't. And our team has worked tirelessly to work with outside partners, work with systems within the athletics department, what we can control, to put us in a position where we can be competitive. And we've grown a lot. nationally and especially in the Southeastern Conference, the year-over-year spends are going up at an exponential rate. When you look at, we've had record years of revenue each of the 3 years we've been here. But the rate of change, the rate of escalation, especially for roster retention, and that's one thing I don't think gets talked enough about, but when you look at where our NIL programs have been, I just look back at the football transfer class of this past offseason of being able to retain guys like Kamario Taylor that could have gone anywhere, Kelly Jones who could have went to the NFL or would be starting on any program in the country. The list will go on and on. Isaac Smith, Anthony Evans, and then you look at a player like Josh Hubbard. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying that disparaging of anything, but it's just that's the new world that we're living in. So for us to be able to get to a spot where we can retain our top talent, that's a huge testament to everybody that's bought into this. And we still have a long ways to go because we all want to be competitive. And when you talk about what our fans have been able to do is whether it's things like having a third party like State 1878 come on board and really help start connecting our fans with our student athletes and helping our student athletes build their brands and capitalize off their brands. It takes everything. There's not a silver bullet, and so I'm so proud of our staff, but also so grateful for so many of our fans that have stepped up in significant ways, whether it's what they can do individually, but also what businesses like the one we're sitting in right now have stepped up and seen the true value of helping our student athletes. And in most cases, you'll see a huge return on what the businesses are getting from working with our student athletes. So again, really pleased with where we're at. But knowing this is going to be something that we got to continue to work on and continue to put ourselves in a position because we can't expect our coaches just to go have success unless we're willing to do what success looks like today.
So when we had you on last year, you and I, we had a long discussion about a logo. I'm sure you remember. And, at that time I wasn't sure about that logo and what the future was. Now I see it everywhere. And I love seeing it. I just want to ask, is that now official? Is that the football team's logo at this point?
Clearly you saw it last year prominent in the football.
I was so happy.
We'll continue to display that logo, that mark. Anytime you look at whether it's a logo or a brand, you look at it for fan affinity, brand awareness. Also, we're in the business of recruiting and making sure that all of our uniforms and all the gear have something that offer the young men and women we're recruiting. So we'll always look at it, but I know you'll see that mark a lot more as you saw it last year.
That's good. That's good news. I appreciate you doing that.
Have you got it tattooed yet?
No, I'm not a tattoo.
Didn't you tell me
there's another guy on the beat that has the tattoo, market covered. I don't deal with that.
I feel like you told me last year.
It's on his heart. It's tattooed right there on his heart.
It's interior tattoo.
You're so sentimental.
Something like that, Zach. Something like that. I have enough shirts. Let's put it that way. The shirts are in the closet. I got my maroon and white watch on. I'm good to go. I guess we'll wrap up with this. 2026, 2027. What is the athletic year about to start, as you said? What is that athletic year going to look like for Mississippi State from your perspective in terms of not only just success on the field, but what you want to get done here on campus?
Yeah, we have to just continue to build and continue to get better. We got to continue to develop. Sometimes I think it sounds a lot more complex than it is, but if our staff continues to get better every day and our coaches continue to get better every day, and that's the same thing we ask our athletes to get better every day. We've been so process focused, and yes, everybody wants to win every game. When we hit the pitch tomorrow in soccer, we're going to Coach O'Brien in his first year. He's going to want to win the game, but we know that the reality is we're not going to win every game. But if we control everything that we can control, I like our chances, and so we'll continue to build. And there's no shortcut for just hard work every day, and that's what we'll continue to do.
As far as fundraisers go, I asked Coach Lebby if he would do one of those let the fans call the first play thing that they did up at Akron, and I wanted to do it for the media. He said no. I told him we'd score.
Isn't there like a little motto in life, everything's for sale? If you come up with the right number, we'll come up with something.
I'll have my people call your people, Zach. Zach Selman, Mississippi State Athletic Director, always a pleasure. Really appreciate your time here today. We're here live at the Landing. When we come back, you're going to hear from Mississippi State head football coach Jeff Lebby. My conversation with him, where I do pitch, trying to call plays on that first drive. He shut it down. He shut it down like Zach Arnett's.
You've done a good job.
I have won a lot of national titles on EA College.
It would have worked.
That's all I'm saying. We'll be back in just a minute at the Not Fall Camp Tour.
From the Seabird
Sports Talk Mississippi on Super Talk Mississippi.
We're back here at the Not Fall Camp Tour, Super Talk Mississippi, live here at the Landing, and we are joined now by Coach Jeff Lebby, Mississippi State football coach. I got to get you to clean up some verbiage. You said fall camp at least 3 times when we talked to you on Thursday. What's fall? It's 100 degrees outside. What is fall camp?
It's fall in the South.
I guess we'll call it that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this promotion that the University of Akron was offering out, where they're going to let a fan call the first drive of the first game of the year if you buy season tickets. I'd like to suggest something, but let's make it with the media. And I'll just slide down to the coach's box, and I promise 7-0 on that first drive. Can we make this happen?
Too hard nose.
That's what I figured, but it was worth an ask.
Worth an ask.
For sure. Let's talk about something. This is sort of big picture. I read an article today in The Athletic where they talked to a bunch of offensive coaches, and the consensus among those guys was that defenses are finally starting to catch up with offense a little bit. You know, it's been about a 10, 12-year run. You've been a big part of that with everything going back to what you were doing at Baylor and then, at Central Florida, so on and so forth. Do you feel the same? Do you feel like when you look at what defenses are doing right now that they're starting to catch on a little bit and we're going to stop seeing some of these scores that we're seeing on a pretty daily basis in college football?
I do. I think that's part of it. I also, you look at just the stats over the last couple of years and how things have slowed down, the points per game and how many people are scoring, the people that are in the top 5 and the top 10 in the country, and then how big the drop is between those. It's different. And I think I talked a little bit about it at Media Day, just the way people are really attacking on defense against these spread offenses and the tempo pieces of it. I think they're doing a really good job. And so you've got to continue to find ways to change. You got to find ways to create advantage, man. That's why they call us coach. That's what I love. That's what we all love. But for us, it's about taking that next step offensively and being that much better than we were a year ago.
What do you think the next evolution is in offense? Are we going to see a return to like smash mouth football, 2 tight end, and they're just mashing it ahead with big linemen? Is that the next step?
Not for me. Not for me. So for some people it might be, but we're going to continue to be who we are. We're going to attack. I talk about it all the time. We're going to dictate how the game is played by how we do what we do when we have the football, and I think that's the only way to go about it.
You're 3 practices in. You've been around successful football teams your entire career. What are some traits that you can see even this early in camp that successful football teams have and that your team is showing right now?
Yeah, I think guys that love to practice and love to compete and love the hard. And so that never changes. When you get on the grass, if guys love to go play, they love to practice, they love the 108-degree feel like, they're going to be guys that end up getting it done for you. So I think that's probably what I'm most excited about. I think the people that are inside our walls are the right people. There's been a process to that. It's taken time. But as we look at it, man, we've got guys that are really, really competitive, that love to play football and got great intent. And so I think that can carry us forward.
So if somebody comes into the SEAL building right now, if you go into one of the meeting rooms, you're going to see 3 sentences, right? No, what is it? No comparisons.
No complaints.
No excuses.
That's right.
What's that mantra mean to you?
Yeah, no comparisons is that means a couple of different things. I'm not comparing ourselves to anybody else. Nobody 2 hours away or 10 hours away. It's about Mississippi State and doing what's best for the people inside our walls. While at the same time, for our guys that sit in those seats every day, not comparing their situation to anybody else. You hear it, comparisons are the thief of all joy, man. How can I make dang sure that I'm dominating my day, having the best day I possibly can. And so that's a big part of it. No complaints. I talk a ton about this, man, being thankful, grateful for what we get to do. I think that's a strong spirit to have. I want our guys to have that. There's so many that can would want to trade places with our guys today and with every single one of us. So, man, nobody wants to hear the complaint about it. Find a way. And then no excuses it's about winning. At the end of the day, it's a production business. There's not an excuse. We got to find a way to get it done. And so those things carry on in football without a doubt. But, man, to me, that's a life piece of it.
And to sort of take from that, when we talked the other day, you were talking about Kamario, and you were talking about how he is so quick to correct himself when he sees something on the field or on film. He's very quick. It's not even you having to do it; it's him having to do it. I talked yesterday to Isaac Smith, and it was kind of the same thing from him. He said he tries to find 2 things that he did wrong every day, and he wants to correct those. Do you like the way that your team kind of, for lack of a better word, polices itself in terms of they correct themselves? They don't even really need the coaches as much to jump in there and show them what they're doing wrong.
That piece of it is without a doubt the best that it's been since we got here. You want that throughout the entire locker room. You guys have heard me say leaders lead. We've got to have great leadership. That's showing up in a great way. And with guys like Isaac and K1 and some of the other guys that coach themselves and coach other positions the way they do, that's how you get it done.
I don't know how much you can tell me about your offensive line after 3 practices and only one of them in shoulder pads, but You know that is the group that most people are focused on when it comes to your team and how much success you're going to have this year. What do you see from this group, this early in camp? What do you like from them?
I like the fact that our body types are what they're supposed to be. We've got capable guys, and that for me is exciting. We're so much further ahead than we were the last day of spring ball. And so that has been really good because there's been retention, which you guys have heard me talk about, and these guys are better than they were practice 15 in the spring. So I really like 7 of our guys right now. Again, we're 3 days in. We've had 1 padded practice. This next 3-day block will be huge. But I really like where we're at and where we're going.
I think at media days you told me you liked 5 of them. So if you've picked up 2 in the first week, that's probably not a bad thing for you. You feel like the competition for all of those spots is where you want it to be?
I do. I think we, at the end of the day, because the body types that we have through probably number 12 or 13 are the right bodies, then that creates the competition because at the end of the day, the physical pieces of this game at that position in this conference, they are what they are. And so you have to be able to hold up, and the body type is needed. We have those bodies to create the competition.
I don't know if it's a cliche or not, but I'm going to say that you're a fan of running back by committee. You've only one time in your coaching career have you had a running back go over 200 yards where you were or 200 carries when you were the primary play caller. Do you know who it is off the top of your head?
Eric Gray.
That's right.
Yep.
And when it's your first year at Oklahoma, do you feel like you have the depth behind Fluff Bothwell to have that kind of committee where you can have 3 or 4 guys maybe with 100+ carries?
Yeah, I think Lord willing, our guy Fluff stays healthy. I think he's got a chance to be a guy that has a bunch of carries. I really do, because he's physically built for that. I do like the depth of that room. I've continued to talk about that, where Colin Wilson is, where Gayton's at. And then, man, our 2 young guys, they don't look young when they carry the football. And so they've got plenty of work to do, far from perfect, but I like that group. They're serious about being good. There's 0 drama in that room. I credit a ton of that to Coach Tucker, how he's recruited, how he coaches them, the way he leads the group, and that's going to be fun for us to watch.
And then from the passing perspective, only twice in your career have you had a season where 2 or more receivers had 50 catches. Last year and your first year at Central Florida in 2019. You almost had 3 that year. Trey Nixon had 49 catches. He just missed it. Do you feel like you've got that kind of depth again this year where you can have 2 or maybe even a 3rd guy steps up and becomes a viable target for this offense?
Yeah, we need a 3rd target. I definitely feel like we have the ability to have that piece inside the room. There is incredible competition in that room right now. I love to see it. Like, guys are maybe not feeling perfect, but they know they don't need to miss a rep, and that's a huge part of it. And so I feel good about the third and really the fourth guy in that room to have a chance to go have the production that we need, while still doing what we do from a showcase standpoint and making sure the right guys touch it more than the other guys.
We had a chance to talk to Anthony Evans just yesterday, and I asked him, you haven't had a guy come back. Kevin Coleman left to go to the portal. Brent Thompson's off to the NFL. How much is having a guy back who knows the ins and outs of everything to help his younger players? How much is that helping you?
Man, it's been huge. And what I love even more is how he's embraced it and his growth as a leader, and what he's doing inside our building every single day, to me, speaks to what he's going to do this fall. So that's been huge. He's got this great understanding of what the expectation is inside the offense. And it's been fun to see his growth and set himself up to go have a great year.
I think without looking, your offensive staff a year ago might have been one of the youngest in the country from top to bottom. Now you've got a ton of experience on that side of the ball. How different is it in practice as far as communication goes with those guys, and having all of that experience on the field? How different has it been for you as the head coach with that?
It has been awesome to see. It's been great with Monty being in the receiver room, all of the history that we have together. That has been great for me and for us. Having KJ, same deal, just being able to bring different things into the room to create ideas, to create conversation, to create development in the quarterback room it's been awesome. And those guys have lived it, they've done it, they've got this incredible amount of experience. But man, they're elite people, and it's all about the team, and they're great teammates, and so blessed to
Now, back to Sports Talk Mississippi.
It doesn't get any better than this.
On Super Talk Mississippi.
We're back here live at the Landing, Super Talk Mississippi, Sports Talk Mississippi, the Not Fall Camp Tour.
And it is not fall today, brother.
Brother, it is not. I'll tell you what, the sun's going down just a touch behind some clouds. We're getting a little relief here, but it is most certainly not fall. I cleaned up Coach Jeff Lebby's verbiage about that in the beginning of my conversation with him. We've got a couple minutes left in that conversation, so we'll go back to it now. It's the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com. Mississippi State head football coach Jeff Lebby.
Be able to have those guys in the room every day.
When you take a look at the other side of the field on defense, what's been standing out to you early on?
Yeah, I think we're playing with a lot of edge, with a lot of fire. There's been great physicality in practice. There was great physicality in first padded practice. Those are the things that I love, and there's just this urgency to get it done defensively. And so it's been fun to watch. Our guys they're bought into it. They're excited about it. I talked about this at Media Day. I'm excited about how we're going to go play on that side of the ball. And so a ton of work to do, as we know, but man, after 3 days, I love just the energy, the toughness, and the physicality.
Week 2 about to start up for you. What do you want to see from your team in week 2?
Yeah, I want to see us fix the things that we're coaching. Position by position, unit by unit, having great situational awareness and understanding that, effort, physicality, but it's about the execution. It's about being able to execute our job at a really high level to go give us a chance to play winning football. So that's been the stress. Had great meetings again today, and look forward to getting back on the grass to start this 3-day block.
And then last question, to make that a little bit more specific, what do you want to see from Kamario Taylor in week 2?
Yeah, I want to continue to see him play the position from the pocket. I've talked a ton about that, and his growth has been really, really good. He's had some things that we can clean up here in these first 3 days of just playing from the pocket. And it's on plays where he's made these incredible plays. And so you always want to live on the right side of it. But for us, the stress is making sure he's not taking the hit when he doesn't need to take the hit, being great from the pocket, because it's going to start there for us.
Coach Jeff Lebby, Mississippi State football starting week 2 of preseason camp here in Starkville. Thanks so much, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Great to talk with Coach Lebby and get those one-on-ones with him. And, of course, I talked to him earlier today. We'll have that audio for you, I guess, later this week on Sports Talk Mississippi, because we definitely think you guys want to hear what he had to say about this whole Jerron Manning thing, which we just saw. We got a little note, a little.
Yeah.
He should have put it on Twitter Notes or on Apple Notes. But
Greg Sankey,
with all that being said, don't play anybody.
Sent a message to the SEC saying, "Hey, nobody's been cleared. Do not play any players until they can get cleared." It's kind of a mess. Just like I've had to pay for parking 4 times.
Yeah, I need to do that. That reminds me.
I keep trying to submit it and it won't accept. So I was trying to extend my parking thing. And
it
wouldn't let me extend it, so I had to wait till it expired to resubmit it or whatever. I was thinking about this the other day. Sometimes we don't need innovation. Like, why do we need a web browser on our refrigerator?
We don't need that.
Why? Now you have touchscreen.
All right, unless I got a ticket in the last 8 minutes, I'm good.
You probably did. But like, we have touchscreen gas pumps now.
Yeah.
And they take longer.
Yeah.
Because it has to register your.
Right.
Why? Like, we have gone too far, Hadad.
What doesn't take long is a Jeff Lebby play call. The man likes to get after it.
That is true.
I talked to him there about that. He said, there's not going to be any. If football evolves into more of a smash mouth, old school 2 tight end, he's not evolving with it on that one. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to say this about
We're
Jeff
never
Lebby.
going back to that, so he's fine.
You say that, but as defenses get faster and smaller, the obvious choice is to get bigger and stronger on offense. This is my since media days. Today was my 5th conversation with Jeff Lebby. Talked to him at media days. We talked to him 3 times after practice, and I had that one-on-one there. That's the most at home, at comfort, whatever you want to say, that I felt like he's been. He really does seem to be growing into it in terms of just being comfortable talking to the media. I think part of that is the first 2 years he knew his first year that he did not have a very good team. He knew that. And so, when you want to talk about being with the media, what are you going to tell him? Then from the other side of that last year, I think he thought his team was better, but they
should have been better.
They still weren't where he wanted them to be just yet. I think, and I've said it a couple times on the podcast, and we'll say it again here, I think from a confidence standpoint, Jeff Lebby and his team really, truly believe they're taking a step forward this year. They're going to be a winning football team. They're going to be a team that can play in a bowl game that they're not getting into in the last minute from academic reasons. And a team that other teams, that the teams on their schedule, Alabama, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, those are the 5 games that we would just circle right now and say, State's not going to be favored in those games, right? But I think Jeff Lebby believes we're going to get one of those games. We may get 2. This year. We were close to doing it last year. This is the year we take the step forward. I really do believe that's Jeff Lebby's mindset coming into the 2026 season. We're going to switch gears. We've talked a lot of football here these first couple of hours. Let's talk about the other stuff going on here in Starkville. When we come back, one of my favorite guys to interview on the whole beat, Coach Sam Purcell, will join us. We're going to talk nice to Coach Purcell when he gets over here. A little basketball, a little baseball in the 5 o'clock hour. We're live here at the Landing, Sports Talk Mississippi. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour presented by Pearl River Resort. We'll be right back.
If it's sports in Mississippi, you'll hear about it here. Sports Talk Mississippi.
You like this show, huh?
Yeah! Super Talk Mississippi.
We're back live at the Landing in Starkville, Super Talk Mississippi. This is the Not Fall Camp Tour. We've been on football for the past couple hours. Let's change gears. Let's talk to Coach Sam Purcell, Mississippi State women's basketball. Coach, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to start you off with the same question I started Coach Jans with. I know coaches, y'all love you learn so much through adversity. Adversity is a great teacher. You had some adversity last year. What did you learn?
How bad I hate not playing in March. Being honest. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. It is what it is. You've got the old model before I got into coaching was, hey, develop this team and get them there by March. Retainment, go through the battle. But now with the mass turnover that's going on in college sports, you got to put this thing together and you got to punch people in the face. And unfortunately, we had 2 huge wins last year, 2 top 10 wins, Kentucky and Tennessee, but we couldn't finish off the month. So this coaching staff is fired up, and then obviously returning my 2 best players helps too.
Yeah, I feel like people underestimate how much of a competitor you are because you're such a nice guy. You're friendly. Everybody likes talking to you. I don't think people realize, like, on the court, you want to win more than anybody else does.
100%. I couldn't be more upset about last year. And then this off season has not been nice for my wife at all. She's anxious.
You just had an anniversary.
We did.
Yeah.
20 years. All right, come on.
My man.
Yeah, no, I'm blessed. I've got a great wife who takes the highs and lows. And, again, we're just excited to get this thing back. I appreciate our fan base, and let's hurry and get to opening day.
Are you the type of coach, or are you a bury the film kind of coach, or are you spending a lot of time looking back on what went wrong and doing a whole metric ton of self-scouting?
Oh, yeah, I'm OCD. I'm a look back, always can get better. I joke, I'm a young Thundercat in a league of Hall of Famers, right, who've been coaching 25 and 30 years, and I'll be the first to admit, and I'm forever grateful for Mississippi State giving a first-time head coach an opportunity, and there's no doubt over 5 years, every year, you learn something, you get better, and you make sure, just like I tell my players, don't make the same mistake twice.
Speaking of, you mentioned it a second ago, you were able to retain some of your key players from the previous squad, something that had not happened the previous 2 years. So my question is, what was that like for you? It had to be a relief when you found out that Faber Ndozie and Madison Francis were going to be back in Starkville for another year.
Huge relief, because again, everybody now in college athletics talks about culture. That's the big word, right?
Right.
But culture doesn't start without retainment. And so to be able to retain your top 2 players, and shout out to our fan base, because I had a lot of donors step up, because that is just being honest, the climate that we're in today. You've got to have the opportunities, you got to have the funds, and then also you have to have an administration, which I also want to shout out, that has supported women's basketball and gave me an opportunity. So again, we couldn't be more excited about this year.
We were talking before the interview started about just general statements about recruiting. Do you find when you're recruiting athletes from out of state, when they come to Mississippi, there's I didn't realize it was like this here. This is really a great place. That kind of you kind of break a barrier once they show up.
100%. That's what we always ask. Is we paint a picture, and then we just ask the one thing at the end is just give it a chance. All right. You see the vision. You see the mail outs. You see, we're very active, including me, on social media, because to your point, when you're not here, you only get that one window and one weekend. But the amount of content, the amount of activities we have here, they realize that this is a special place to go to school, and not only a special place to go to school, but a special place to live. So it's huge for us.
So you bring back your 2 best players. Do you like the pieces you put around them? How do you feel about the depth of this year's team?
Really excited, and hopefully here in about 3 days we're going to add, announce some other people too that we're currently working on from overseas. But we've got currently 11 players on the team. You got a Madison Francis who's an All-American, so you better put first and foremost pieces around her that will stretch the floor. And we signed one of the best shooters in the country, a young lady named Callie Smallwood from UAB, and then we've got a point guard who I think is going to be an absolute stud in Reese Beatty. She was at Iowa State, who was an NCAA tournament program and had 100 assists as a freshman, so she knows how to deliver the ball, so that we got a lot of great pieces.
That's interesting to hear you describe it, talking about when you've got an All-American, you got to build around him. I feel like there's a picture of a guy right back there, Jacob Parker. Coach O'Connor had to do that. He had to try to insulate him as best he could. Chris Jans had to do that with Josh Hubbard. When you have that star player, is it kind of we start here and we spread out as we look at recruiting?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're very vocal when we sit down with all these recruits. And that's where I told Madison and Faber, where I'm really excited about their year 2, is last year it was, okay, come join this team. Let's learn their game. The coaches are telling about this players, but you got to prove something. Now in year 2, it's like, okay, when we sat down with each one of these recruits, it started with these 2. You're coming here, obviously, to come play for me, but you're coming here to play with these 2 players. We're setting the tone, so the amount of leadership and the amount of expectations are obviously bigger, but I also think the chemistry will be stronger because they know who the 2 best players are.
When you recruit internationally, do you bring your swimsuit with you? How do those trips go?
Well, first and foremost, thank God for a diverse staff, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Fred Castro, Jimmy Yu, They do a phenomenal job of, the language barrier and bringing people in. But there's definitely a bathing suit. I'm a work hard, play hard guy. I'm not going to lie on there. You got to love what you do. And, man, what a blessing to coach college basketball and travel the world.
One of the players you brought in this portal class is one of the most decorated high school players in this state's history, Macy Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
What is she going to bring to your team this year?
Well, how much time do we have? Because I can brag all day.
You got 5 minutes and 7 seconds.
Listen, first and foremost, what a great young lady. Okay, I want to talk about her core. This is a young lady who's a woman of faith. I always tell every college kid, and I know people are like, yeah, sure, I bet you say this, but I tell them, be more than a basketball player. This is a young lady who will probably be on the student board, government body that it's within our athletic department. She's going into being a sorority. She's going to have the great college experience, and then as far as her as a basketball player, the versatility, but most importantly, the DNA of a winner that this state knows how special that kid is. I couldn't be more happy to have her.
So I looked at your schedule, and you play in a row South Carolina, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Texas, and LSU. Those 5 teams might all be in the top 10. Did you make somebody mad over at the SEC office? What happened there?
I know. I saw that. I was like, who did I piss off?
He beat Greg Sankey in golf, and that was just the end of it.
No,
I'll show him.
Yeah, to your point, it really could be the top 8 teams in the country. But you know what? That's the SEC. You got to play them sometime. Let's play them all in a row. But here's the best part. The majority of those games are at home.
Yeah.
And you've heard me say this the 5 years I've been here. All right, I'll play anybody here. We almost beat Texas 2 years ago, obviously beating LSU. So, we've got our work cut out, but we want it no other way.
You mentioned 2 top 10 wins a season ago as well. So, winning those kind of games isn't foreign to you at all.
No, correct. And it's a gauntlet. That's where the SEC is one game at a time. Fortunate to have the best fan base in the country because when you play at home, you got to protect your home. And then when you go on the road, you got to find a way to steal one.
Something you might not know the answer to this. It's bothered me the past few years. Why does Mississippi State and Ole Miss only play once a year?
Yeah, we decided as a conference to mix that up because obviously there's certain states like us in Mississippi that has 2 rivals. Mm-hmm. But when we added Oklahoma and Texas, it became, okay, well, why is Oklahoma Arkansas's when Oklahoma should be Texas A&M? Then Texas was supposed to be Texas A&M. And then they just got into a cat fight. So then we just said, look, we're going to rotate partners.
Yeah.
And so I know our fan base is upset that we don't play each other more than once, but the rest of the states can't get along.
It's everybody else's fault.
So we're blaming our fault.
Yeah,
okay, good.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's something that and the men do. The men play Ole Miss twice. They play. What's the difference? The men have 3 opponents. They play twice.
Yeah, and they got 2 more games than us too.
Okay,
so that's why. So they have a big
okay.
Yeah,
that makes more sense now.
Yeah,
that makes more sense now. You mentioned chemistry a little bit ago, and I know that you're. I don't like that's not the right. But you mentioned social media as well. What is the mantra of this year? I know I've seen it's the one.
No, this year it's that was last year.
It was last year.
Yeah.
So I got to keep up.
I know. Every year it changes. This year's Attack the Gap.
Attack the Gap.
Yeah, and the reason it's Attack the Gap is I got a group that understands that they're at a special place this year. Mm-hmm. But for us to have success, we got to understand where we got to be tomorrow. And so every day we show up, we got to attack that gap to make sure we don't stay here and that we keep rising for what we need to do to win in this league.
We had Zach Selman on a little bit earlier. What kind of athletic director is he for women's basketball?
Well, first and foremost, a great person.
Yeah.
A father, obviously a girl dad, which helps me.
Yeah.
He understands the sport, but just what I've really loved, whether the branding or just who he is as a person. He's hip. He's approachable. He's outside the box. And I'm gonna be honest. In my 5 years here, I think Mississippi State went from kind of just a basic model into something now that's sexy. Mm-hmm. Whether it's renovations, whether it's branding of the clothes, whether it's tournaments and things that we're doing, and that's a credit to him and his leadership.
Are you chomping at the bit to get out there on the court? I know you are.
Oh, yeah.
When's the first game?
November 3rd.
Against?
We are playing, great question. I don't even know.
Does it matter?
Is that clickbait right here?
No, you're good. It doesn't matter who you're playing. It's about getting out there. It's one of those things where if you do what you're supposed to do, it doesn't matter what the other team does.
Well, and the reason I honestly don't know, I've been so hard in the portal, like I told you. I literally just got off the phone. We got 2 kids that we are hopefully going to announce, but we're waiting on the visas.
Right.
So, what people don't understand, they think we just roll out the balls and coach. They have no earthly idea.
No, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more than just put on the whistle and call it a day.
Yeah.
Coach, always appreciate your time. You're so generous with it. We'll definitely talk to you again as the season gets closer. We're going to attack the gap.
Attack the gap, everybody. And most importantly, I appreciate everybody's support in Hail State.
Coach Sam Purcell, Mississippi State women's basketball. When we come back, right back to the Farm Bureau guest line, Coach Chris Jans, Mississippi State men's basketball. He'll join us here. We are at the Not Fall Camp Tour, Sports Talk Mississippi, live at the Landing. We're presented by Pearl River Resort. We'll be back in just a minute.
What we're gonna do right here is go back.
And now back to the sports. This is Sports Talk Mississippi.
So let's get rolling
on Super Talk Mississippi.
Back here live, Sports Talk Mississippi at the Not Fall Camp Tour here in Starkville. Let's talk some hoops with Mississippi State head basketball coach Chris Jans. He joins us now on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. All right, Coach. You know, coaches, you guys love to talk about adversity. Oh, adversity. It teaches you so many lessons. It teaches you how to beat this, that, and the other. What did you learn from adversity last season?
Well, it's too early to tell. We'll find out what we learned on the court in the coming months. But definitely we'll never take winning for granted. I'm not saying that there was any of that. Maybe for some of us, who knows internally how everyone feels, what they were feeling when they went through it. But yeah, we had a lot of reflection once the season was complete. We did a deep dive on almost every facet of our program, not to point fingers at all, but to learn, grow from said adversity, as you put it, that we went through with our results last season. And I think it was a really good exercise. Certainly coaches are famous for using a line similar to, I'd rather, learn from winning rather than have to learn from defeats. But sure. Certainly when you lose, that's going to happen. You're going to be narrowly focused on the why and trying to figure out, how to not repeat some of the mistakes that we made as a coaching staff. At the end of the day, it falls on my plate, and I understand that wholeheartedly. And we're trying to make sure we're in better position as the fall rolls around and the balls start bouncing again.
So when you look back at last year, even from game one, it felt like something was off with that team. And, you guys persevered through it. You had some good moments last year. Was it just a chemistry thing? Was it a mindset thing? In your mind, if you could finger point one thing where it went wrong for you last season, what was it?
Yeah, I don't think you can point to one thing, as you put it. I think it was a mixture of things that didn't go our way and decisions that we made as a staff. We needed to do a better job of putting our team together, and then obviously needed to do a better job with how we positioned our players on the court at different times throughout the year. But there were a lot of reasons why. And I'm at a point where, you know me fairly well, we tell our players all the time, get to the next play. You've heard that in sports lexicon forever, right? Get to the next play, get to the next play, right? And our staff, and probably more importantly, me, have to take my own advice and get to the next season. And I'm one to dwell on what went wrong and how do we fix it, maybe to a fault at times. And I have to take my own advice and I have to put some perspective on it. At some point we're going to put a nail in that and not talk about it much anymore. But the learning, the growing, we've had lots of reflection, lots of time. But at some point, and we're going through it, where, me and the rest of the guys that were here that went through it have to certainly not forget the lessons, but put it behind us and not let it, linger, not let it go into next season and mess with our energy, our focus, our mindset is the word that you brought up earlier.
Did that change the way you went into the portal this year? Did you look for a different kind of guy?
Yeah, definitely. We wanted to make sure, not that we don't always do this, but maybe with a finer microscope to make darn sure we knew as best we could in the limited time that you have in some of these situations in the portal, because it is very fast. It usually is very fast. It's not like high school recruiting, which are marathons. These are, 50-yard, 40-yard sprints at times. And, some people say, well, take your time. Well, you can't. You can't. I mean, you're making a decision every time you take your time because that person is moving on for another opportunity. So we try to do better in terms of what we did going into it, trying to figure out and identify some situations and do our homework that way. So we really, really wanted to make sure, we knew the player, the person, as best we could before we had to make the ultimate decision, if we were going to go after that particular player.
Not only a lot of new faces on the roster, but a lot of new faces on your coaching staff as well. These guys that you've brought in, what do they bring to your staff that's different than what you had before?
If you would walk in our gym, I don't care if it was a June shooting group or it was a team practice, a lift session. It didn't matter when, in my opinion. When you walk in the gym, and that's not just about the coaches, but the whole environment, like the vibe was super positive, very energized. There was a bounce to our step this summer from everybody. I would walk down sometimes in the middle of a shooting workout and had to do something during it. So I'm down there a little late, and it would make me feel good, make me feel good walking in there, knowing that I didn't have to bring the energy. It was there, and certainly some of the new voices, the new guys that were on our staff helped that. And sometimes, it just happens organically with a combination of coaches, players, managers, GAs. Everybody has a part in helping the energy, the feel, not just the head coach, and certainly not just, one or two players. So it was really, really good that way.
Am I allowed to ask Alex Barlow his thoughts on the Jaylen Brown trade?
Hey, have at it, man.
Okay. I am a diehard Celtics hater.
Oh, boy.
So I'm looking forward to talking with him about that at some point, and maybe needling him just a little bit. I'm always fascinated by the international piece in recruiting now. It seems like every team in the SEC and almost every team in the power teams especially have a European player on the roster. You've got a late addition to your roster, and God help me with this name, Kostadinov. Am I good?
Close enough.
That'll work. How did he get on the radar for you? A kid coming, from Bulgaria, playing in Spain. How does he end up at Mississippi State?
Yeah, the international market has exploded the last handful of years. Usually, there are some teams that go there first in that market, in the portal especially. But usually, what happens is the domestic market dries up, and then everyone, goes over there to see if they can fill some needs that way. At least that's kind of what we've been doing with our recruitment efforts, especially in the portal. Coach Anwar had a contact, and he's connected all over the world. He's so well liked and beloved in our profession, and people want to help him. The unique thing about Kostas is that he ended up being on a team in Spain. He's from Bulgaria, but he'd been playing in Spain recently with a former player of ours at New Mexico State, Jabari Rice. So Jabari Rice, who was a kid that we coached for 5 years, was a teammate. And so we obviously put him on the clock and to get information on exactly what he was and who he was. And then when we decided we wanted him, he became assistant coach Rice in terms of trying to hand out an assist for us. So, he's here. He's been doing great. Still obviously have some eligibility hoops that we have to jump through. Sometimes it takes a little longer with those guys, but we're working with our compliance department daily and getting done what we need to get done with the NCAA that way.
Just a couple minutes left with you, Coach. We obviously have to talk about the superstar on your team, Josh Hubbard. I had a one-on-one with him about a month or so ago, and I asked him about legacy. And when I ask players about that, they tend to shake it off. They're like, I don't really think about that. Do you as a coach ever think about the legacy of a player like Josh Hubbard, who will clearly, by the time his career is over, should be Mississippi State's all-time leading scorer, will be one of the greatest players in this school's history? Is that something that ever crosses your mind?
Absolutely. I mean, can't help it. I mean, he's been with us, obviously, after our first year. When I got the job, that's the name that, everyone kept talking about. You got to get to see him. You got to go down there. You got to meet him. You got to recruit him, and it's been quite a journey. I can't speak for Josh, but I do think about it. And the cool thing is the obvious, like no one's more deserving and no one's going to appreciate it when it's over and be the kind of ambassador that this university is going to want to have for not just our men's basketball program, but our athletic department as a whole, because he always represents the Bulldogs in a first-class way. He's a first-place kid, the way he goes about his business. So for sure, I think about it. We don't talk about it. That's just not the way he's built. He's trying to get better. He's awesome at giving me little tidbits on the side on things that he thinks maybe we could be doing better. But certainly excited for him in this upcoming season to do all the things that you mentioned.
It's going to be an exciting season at the Hump. I'm already ready to get back to see some Mississippi State basketball a little later this year. We'll have you back on very soon, Coach, and maybe in a little more long form for the podcast. But thanks for your time today. Coach Chris Jans, Mississippi State basketball. We'll be back here live at the Landing as we continue the Not Fall Camp Tour.
From the
communication system is a go. This is Sports Talk Mississippi, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Exactly.
We are back here live at the Landing, Sports Talk Mississippi. It's the Pearl River Resort Studio. It's the Not Fall Camp Tour presented by Pearl River Resort. Let's go back for the last time today to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com. My conversation with Mississippi State head baseball coach Brian O'Connor. No crypto talk involved.
Not Fall Camp Tour, Super Talk Mississippi, Sports Talk Mississippi. Back to the Farm Bureau guest line. Talk with Coach Brian O'Connor, Mississippi State baseball. And Coach, when your season wrapped up, I don't think I've ever had more people ask me, how would you grade a season than I did after your first year? So you've got a little bit of a professorial note to you. Why don't you help me out with that? What would you have graded year one of Brian O'Connor at Mississippi State?
Well, Brian, I think that it went extremely well. Certainly there were some ups and downs throughout the year, but disappointed that it didn't finish up in Omaha, because that's the goal, because that's the only opportunity you have a chance to compete for a national championship if you get there. But just really proud of the development of our team. Certainly I look at, every team goes through ups and downs throughout the year, and how do you recover from those? And I'm just really proud of some of the down moments that we had, that our players were able to respond and put us right back in the mix. And, I know a lot was to be made when I was hired about bringing postseason baseball back to Dudy Noble Field. And the fact that we were able to accomplish that and host a regional for the first time in this stadium in 5 years, I know was a big accomplishment for the players, certainly, but also something that, the fans have been waiting for, and to be able to play at Dudy Noble and NCAA regional and win that regional and then move on to the super regional. And we all know the dogfight that was, and unfortunately came out on the wrong end of it.
Is there a moment for you in that season that you go back to more than others? Well, what's the one that stands out the most for you in particular?
Oh, I don't know that there's ever one, because there's really so many of them, because of the tide that you ride throughout the year, that you got the ups of when you go to Ole Miss and sweep them on the road, but then you get taken right back down to reality shortly after that, and it's just managing the ups and downs that go throughout the season. I was proud of our guys in non-league play. I thought that we did a tremendous job all year long, and ultimately, Brian, that's why we were selected as a host site for the NCAA regional, is that we did finish good enough in the league to host, but it's what our body of work was throughout the season. And so the fact that, in all those non-conference games, listen, I know we didn't beat Southern Miss down there and we didn't beat UCLA, but the fact that in all the other non-league games that we did what it takes to put ourselves in a position to host a regional. Had we not taken care of that business outside of the league, we wouldn't have been a host site, right? And so, just really proud of the responses that we had. Obviously had two really difficult weekends here at the stadium against Tennessee and Georgia, that we didn't play our best baseball, but the sweep of LSU at home, was certainly a big one that kind of catapulted us there towards the end of the year.
So let's talk about your portal class, another outstanding group of young men coming to play for you next season. You bring back your entire weekend rotation from last year. You bring back Tomas Valinkas, Ryan McPherson, and Duke Stone. I assume when pitchers get into the portal these days, a lot of them are looking for opportunities to start. What's the recruiting pitch to the guys you were able to bring in to come to Mississippi State when they know that those three guys are here and are going to have as good an opportunity as anybody to be the starters yet again?
Yeah, sure. Brian, there's no way around that, right? They know they all have agent representation and things like that. And, they want to develop and have opportunity. But, it's the part of the foundation of our program is that the players, they're not given anything and they have to earn everything they get. So, the three pitchers that you mentioned, they've got to go out and get better. They all have areas that they have to improve on, and it's open competition. And that there, are guys that come into this program, whether it be freshmen or transfers, and they earn the right to be weekend starters. Well, then they'll get that opportunity. And so, that's all a young man can ask for is an opportunity to compete, and they will have that opportunity. And I look forward to the competition that we're going to have in the fall and the preseason from the pitching standpoint, because it's going to be intense, right? And certainly there's a lot of opportunity open in our bullpen, but everybody wants to start, right? And so, I think throughout the fall and the preseason, deciding ultimately who those starters are, and that changes throughout the season as well. But to really, zero in on who are going to be those top guys that you can really count on out of the bullpen.
So when you look at the hitters you brought in, it's just a lot of power. You got, I think, 4 or 5 guys who you're coming in who hit double-digit home runs at their previous stop. Is that a situation where you went into the portal saying we need power in this lineup? We got to have home run hitters, or is that just the way that it played out and those were the best guys for the opportunity?
Well, certainly you want to. Listen, you got to hit some home runs in this league. There's no doubt about it, and that was a big part of why we had a really great ball club last year. Was we set the home run record for Mississippi State in a single season, and that's great, and everybody loves the home run, Brian. But it's about winning the games, and so yeah, sure. You look for guys that have the ability or shown the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but it's also you want players that are complete hitters that can do more than just that. So you look at strikeout rates and different things, execution rates and whatnot, to try to put together, the best team and the best lineup you can. And it just so happens to be the case that, yeah, some of those players that we recruited in the portal did hit quite a few home runs. Now, we all know that there's an adjustment to this level of baseball and the pitching in the SEC, and it's our job over the next 6 or 7 months to fast forward to that development to get them ready to hit the best pitchers in the country.
How much do you take away from what happens in the summer and in the Cape Cod leagues? I feel like there are some people who say, whatever happens up there, it doesn't normally translate to the season. There are some people who will tell you the opposite. They say, oh, if he has a great summer, he's poised to have a great spring. What about you? What are your thoughts on the Cape Cod League and how your players perform there?
Well, everybody's going to have an opinion, Brian, for sure.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's why I have a job.
We know that, right?
Yeah.
On how much it matters. Listen, I've had it both ways. I've had guys go up there and, be the Cape Cod pitcher of the summer, right? And then come to college and be, pretty average, right? Or on a position player side, I've had guys up there that have hit 200 in the Cape, and they come to college and they tear it up, right? And so I don't think you can put too much stock in it, but what you like to see guys do is handle adversity and keep fighting back and finding a way. So listen, we'd all prefer them to perform great. That makes you feel better, right, about what you're getting. But the reality is, it's about what they do here.
Just a couple minutes left for the year, Coach. We have to talk about Jacob Parker. Obviously, monster first season as a freshman here at Mississippi State. What do you want him to improve on this offseason? Don't say everything. What is something that you see in his game that you're like, need to get better there?
Yeah, I think it's just consistency, right? He was really good in the back part of the year for us, but you'd like to see Jacob Parker, cut down on his strikeout rate, right? You can still hit home runs and drive a lot of runs in and cut down your strikeouts. If you're going to be a big RBI guy, you need to cut down on your strikeouts, and that's not changing his swing or anything like that. Typically that happens with, more opportunity and growth and maturity. So I would say that would be the big thing. And, my plan is this fall is to play him every day in center field and see what he looks like in center field for us. And that's something that, I think that he has a chance to do. And so we're going to take a look at that all fall and see where his development is out there as well.
Last question, and we only got about a minute left. I'm going to put the pressure on you. If I tell you that my preseason prediction for Mississippi State is I think they can win the national championship, you're not going to talk me out of that, are you?
No, I never talked you out of that. Like everybody, you're entitled to your opinion, Brian.
I'll take that as what it is. Coach Brian O'Connor, always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend, and talk to you again soon when fall ball gets started up. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
We'll be back here at the Landing live here on the Not Fall Camp Tour in just a minute on Sports Talk Mississippi.
We'll be back to wrap it up here live at the Landing, Sports Talk Mississippi on the Not Fall Camp Tour here in Starkville. We'll be back to finish out the day with us here in just a minute.
Mississippi. Sports Talk Mississippi.
Do you ever get so excited that you just can't wait?
Yes! Sports Talk Mississippi, covering your Mississippi teams.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Don't touch that dial! Here on Super Talk Mississippi.
We are wrapping up a fantastic day here in Starkville, our second stop on the Not Fall Camp Tour. I'm Brian Hadad. He's Michael Borkey. We're here at the Landing. The party is not stopping at the Landing, by the way. Starting tonight, 8 o'clock, they got bingo. Did you know bingo is not for the veterans of foreign wars just anymore? It's a young person thing.
I would play bingo.
Yeah. Plus, they're going to have some great drink deals tonight. Pitchers of beer, seltzer buckets. Come check it out, the Landing here in the Cotton District. The rooftop bar, it's fantastic. Once the sun goes down, it's going to be a great place.
This is a really cool spot because I first came to Starkville a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time. 2011, spring of 2011, I believe, was my first time here. And none of this existed. This was a laundromat. And there was a lady here back when I worked for Papa John's.
she would trade a couple of pizzas, and if I could just bring her all my dirty laundry, she would wash it, dry it, and fold it, and bring it back and give it back to me, and didn't cost me nothing. So yeah, I remember that. But yeah, this kind of bar was much needed here in Starkville. So. Thanks so much to the Landing for all the hospitality. We've given away a lot of tequila shots today, apparently. Our friends with Mitchell Distributing have given away a lot of cool stuff. I hope somebody who's taking advantage of the contest they were running.
And you got to bring these home with you.
Oh,
those are sick.
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
Old
school, though.
Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah.
A little throwback for you.
So I might steal one of those DAC cups, though, for sure.
There's 4 for you.
Yeah, I'll take that. Well, 4.
Nailed it.
That works.
Important year for one Dak Prescott.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, at this point in his career, I think every year is important for him. It's time for him to take that step forward, which I think he can do. That they've improved the team around him. They absolutely have. Dak is one of those guys. I know Ole Miss fans love to jump on him, but the things that have happened with the Cowboys have not been his fault. They really have.
It transcends him.
Right.
It's been 3 decades of incompetence.
Yeah.
You cannot blame that on one player that just took over 13 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a while.
What was his rookie year?
2016.
26. No,
so
13
10 years.
10 years.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Gosh, hey,
it's hard to believe, right?
There was a kid that from the state of Mississippi that recruited in the 2028 class. So 2028 recruit. We'll see. Whatever. I graduated high school the year he was born.
Yeah. How do you think I feel? But
you've got kids graduating and stuff like that.
I was in school in the Final Four year here where Eric Dampier was on the team. Now his son's one of the top prospects in the country as a high school junior.
Oh, okay, that hurts worse.
I mean, when I start seeing juniors, that's when I know things aren't great.
You know what I've kind of gauged from state fans lately? Forget the online, we're going 11-1, Camario's winning the Heisman people.
Mm-hmm.
There is
I haven't seen those people. Those people are hiding out.
Avoid Twitter. That's the best place to avoid. But I'm getting a sense of cautious optimism from Mississippi State people. Like there's a real, and it's not irrational either. That's the good part about this, because so many people just talk themselves into, oh, my team's going to be good, and you really don't have a reason to believe your team's going to be good. Sorry.
Right.
Like, imagine being an Arkansas fan today.
Yeah.
What do they have? No, I mean, nothing really. But there is real reasons for real state fans to believe that this team will take a step forward.
It's absolutely acceptable to believe that. Yeah. I talked about it on the podcast. I'll say it here again. If optimism is your thing, if you want to buy into that this is going to be a 7 or 8 win team and that this team's going to take a big step forward and that Camario Taylor is going to be everything he's been hyped up to be, I'm not going to argue with you, all right? Because I won't argue. The foundation is there. It's just about building the house now. And Jeff Lebby is out of excuses. I'll definitely say that. We got one more stop to make on the Not Fall Camp Tour. Next week, live in Oxford, we will be at the library. It's kind of our home away from home in Oxford at this point.
We were there for the playoff. Last season it started there. Maybe it will end in the same place doing the same thing again. I know you're super excited about that proposition, but no, I'm kidding. Pearl River Resort has just been an awesome partner with us. We cannot thank them enough for putting this on and allowing us to do these 3 trips. And speaking of trips, I was actually talking to some friends about this earlier. There are these golf packages that you can find online to go play courses in other states, and you're dropping $1,000, $1,500. And you're not getting
that cross money,
and you're not getting a great experience.
Yeah,
you can do that right here in the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. You can go to Dancing Rabbit. You can play great golf. You can stay at a great hotel. You can go watch the games at the Sportsbook at Timeout Lounge. You can go eat good, and it's not going to destroy your bank account. And you get the exact same experience that you would if you're traveling 2 states over,
if not better. So really, really cool. Thanks to our friends at Pearl River Resort putting this on. Thanks to our friends at Mitchell Distributing. Get a lot of great giveaways. Thanks to Dak Prescott for the tequila.
Literally, thanks to Dak Prescott for the tequila. There's no hyperbole in that.
We apparently burned through. We gave away enough shots that they had to come get one of the 2 bottles they were going to gift me and Borkey. That's fine. We're men of the people.
That is yours.
No, it's all you. It's all you.
Thanks, Dak.
You heard him here first.
All right,
tomorrow we'll be back in the studio, finish out the week on Sports Talk Mississippi, and then again 1 week from today in Oxford at the library, the final stop on the Not Fall Camp Tour. For Borkey, I'm Hadad. Thanks to Houston. Appreciate him, as always, getting the job done. We'll see you again tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, it's incredible! A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.